Good morning. Good morning. We are starting our lectures. Today, we are going to start the third unit in our course, Transportation Engineering. Okay, so in the first two units, we have discussed about the history of transportation engineering, design elements of road, and the different design condition or geometric design criteria to be fulfilled while a pavement or a road is being designed. In the second unit, we have dealt with highway material. What are the different materials used in the construction of highways, and what are the properties or what are the tests to be conducted for quality checking for the material specification. Okay, and now we are going to start the third unit. The third unit is dealing with traffic engineering. What is meant by traffic engineering, and what are the functions to be performed by a person who is associated, who is assigned with the responsibility of managing a traffic stream. So a traffic engineering means once a transportation system is operational, once a highway construction or once a road construction is done, the road system will become operational, right? For the safe, economic, and convenient movement of vehicles to be possible on the roadway. For the safe, economic, and convenient movement of vehicles on the roadway, there are certain measures to be taken. These measures include the starting of design of traffic system to different traffic control measures that need to be taken while the vehicles are operational on the roadway. Okay, so traffic engineering is a very broad stream which is dealing with a lot of things. So we have to start with the basics. So first of all, we have to discuss about what is meant by the traffic characteristics. A detailed study of traffic characteristics is essential to move into the advanced concepts of traffic engineering. So let us start with the traffic characteristics. What do you mean by the traffic characteristics? Okay, so traffic characteristics. The contents in this presentation include what is the definition of traffic, then scope of traffic engineering, traffic characteristics, what are the functions of traffic engineer, the elements of traffic engineer, and road user characteristics. So traffic engineering, the definition of traffic engineering, you can say that it is the branch of engineering that deals with planning and geometric design of roads and highways. Planning and geometric design of roads and highways, and with traffic operation as their use is related to safe, convenient, and economic transportation of persons and goods. I have already told that traffic engineering is dealing with the safety, convenience, and economic aspect of transportation of people and goods from one place to another. So actually, the traffic engineering is dealing with the planning and geometric design. Planning and geometric design is important. Similarly, how the geometric design or how the traffic system is related, how the transportation system is related to safe, convenient, and economic transportation of persons and goods. Such things will be discussed in detail in this section known as the traffic engineering. Now, what are the scope of traffic engineering? The scope of traffic engineering include traffic characteristics. First one is the traffic characteristics. Second one is traffic studies and analysis. Traffic characteristics, traffic studies and analysis. Then traffic control, traffic operation, that is control and regulation, planning and analysis, geometric design, and administration and management. These are the different scope of traffic engineering. So first of all, as I told that, we have to focus on the traffic characteristics. We are focusing on the traffic characteristics. So traffic characteristics means for improving the traffic facility. Okay, traffic facility improvement is one important responsibility of the traffic engineer. So for improving the existing traffic facilities, a proper study of the traffic characteristics will become very much essential. So basically, the traffic characteristics can be divided into two. There are two divisions for traffic characteristics. One is the vehicular characteristics and the other one is the road user characteristics. What does it mean? Is actually when a traffic system is to be operating in the safest, convenient and economic manner, it should be taking into consideration the aspect of the vehicle as well as the aspect of the road user. So the road user means a person who is using a vehicle on the road as well as a person who is on the road without a vehicle. A pedestrian also is considered in road user. So both the characteristics of road user as well as the characteristics of vehicle is very much important. So these are the two traffic characteristics. Okay, the two traffic characteristics include road users and vehicles. Now, when we are speaking about the road user characteristics, the physical, mental, and emotional characteristics of the humans are to be given particular attention, because what is the state of mind in which the person is using the road? You might have seen that if a person is disturbed, then the method of using the road will be a bit different from his normal condition, right? When person is disturbed, his mind will be preoccupied with something else. But while using a road to ensure safety, it is mandatory that a proper focus is to be given. So physical characteristics, mental and emotional, same the situation with physical. If a person is physically unfit, he will not be using the particular roadway with proper focus. So physical, mental and emotional characteristics of human beings are to be given a particular attention when discussing the traffic characteristics. I told that there are two types of road characteristics, traffic characteristics, the road user characteristics, and next one is the vehicular characteristics. So the vehicular characteristics means study of various parameters of vehicles. We have to study about the various parameters of vehicle. What are the various parameters of vehicle? The dimension of vehicle, weight of vehicle, maximum turning radius, speed, braking system, lighting system, tires, etc. These are the different vehicular characteristics. Okay. So what are the different vehicular characteristics? Dimensions, weight, maximum turning radius, speed, braking system, lighting system, tires, etc. Functions of traffic engineer. What are the different functions to be performed by a traffic engineer? So the main functions of a traffic engineer include collection, analysis, and interpretation of traffic data. So the traffic data collection involves volume study, origin and destination study, speed study, parking study, etc. These are the different surveys or studies to be conducted for data collection. Collection, analysis, and interpretation of data include volume study, origin and destination study, speed study, parking study, etc. Next one is traffic and transportation planning. So how to, or what is the relationship between the different land uses and transportation? Based on that, different mathematical models are formulated to make a prediction on how the traffic system will be behaving under the different traffic condition. So actually the traffic system can be defined as a response to the given traffic condition. Okay. So in order to predict how a particular person or how a particular vehicle will be responding to a particular traffic condition, certain mathematical models are formulated. And this mathematical models are formulated based on the studies related to land use and transportation. Next one is traffic design. It includes the geometric design of highways, intersection design. Intersection means when more than two roads are meeting at one particular point, you call it as an intersection. So traffic movement in intersection is to be given special consideration, right? It is not, the movement of traffic at an intersection is not same as that at an ordinary road. So how an intersection is designed, that need to be given special consideration by a traffic engineer. Then grade separated interchange. In certain cases, the traffic system will be like, they will be consisting of two different gradients, and the intersection is in such a way that the two or more roads which are meeting at the intersection are located at two different gradients, then parking facilities. What are the different street and off-street parking facilities, how the parking facilities are designed. So these are the different things to be noted for traffic design. And then measures for operation of traffic. For traffic operation, for measures to implement a proper and safe traffic operation, a legal enforcement need to be done. So legislation and enforcement measures will be proposed by the traffic engineer. Then for parking of vehicle, there should be certain measures for regulating the parking. Then traffic management measures and also traffic control devices. Traffic control devices means when you are operating on a road, you might have observed that there are different traffic control devices like traffic signs. You have observed different kinds of traffic signs on the road. Traffic signs is one kind of traffic control devices. On the roads, you will be seeing certain kind of markings made for regulation of traffic. That type of traffic regulations is known as road markings. You have observed the traffic signal. So traffic signs, traffic signals, road markings, etc. are the different traffic control devices. We'll be discussing about the traffic control devices in one separate chapter. Okay. Next one is administration. To secure the safe and efficient traffic in cities. To secure the safe and efficient traffic in cities, various programs need to be done. So that is also the function of a traffic engineer. Okay. So these are the functions of the traffic engineer. Now there are different elements of traffic operation. The different elements of traffic operation include, one is the road users. The road users include the drivers as well as the pedestrians. Drivers as well as the pedestrians operating the road are included in road users. Next one is the vehicles. Then there is the highways, and fourthly is the environment. These are the different traffic operation, different elements of different traffic operation. The road users, drivers and pedestrians, vehicles, highways, and the environment. So coming to the elements of traffic operation. Actually, there are four basic elements of traffic operation. The road users include drivers as well as the pedestrians using the road. Then vehicles, highway characteristics, and environmental characteristics. These are the four characteristics: road user characteristics, vehicular characteristics, highway characteristics, and environmental characteristics. Now, actually, the behavior of traffic, on what way traffic is behaving, this is highly dependent on how these four factors are interacting with each other. Okay, these four factors like highway factors, road user factors, vehicular factors, and environmental factors, how these factors are interacting, or what is the way, or what is the mode of interaction of these four factors with one another. This will decide what should be the behavior of traffic. Now, coming to the road users. So road users means how the road user is able to respond to a particular type of stimuli. For example, consider the case of a driver. If the driver is able to respond to a situation, you are a person driving a vehicle, and in front of the road, you observe to see an animal crossing the road. Okay. So what is the speed, or what is the accuracy with which you respond to that particular situation? If you don't stop the vehicle, you will collide with the animal moving in front. So the objective of driver should be to ensure a safe, comfortable, convenient, and economic movement of vehicle. Okay. So how you will respond to the situation and act accordingly so that the collision with this vehicle can be avoided. That is very much important. So what is the response to the stimuli over a very wide range? So this will be dependent on the driver's factors, like what is the degree of fatigue driver will be experiencing, how much is the attention of the driver? What is the experience of the driver in driving in such difficult situation? How much is the training received for the driver? These are the different factors, different road user factors. How much fatigue is he facing? For example, if a person is continuously driving, he will be facing some tiredness, right? Which will slow down his thought process or slow down his reaction. Then what is the attention of the driver? That is why you have seen that it is illegal to have drunken driving, because once in a drunken state, the driver will be experiencing a difficulty in decision making. So responding to stimuli is very much important for proper driving, or for proper safe driving. Response to particular stimuli is very much dependent. So that is why drunken driving is prohibited. Another important characteristics is the vehicle characteristics. So what is the dimension of the vehicle? What is the weight of the vehicle? How is the performance characteristics of the vehicle? All these things will decide the vehicular characteristics. Next one is the highway characteristics. If the highway is having different grades, alignments, carriageway width, surface characteristics, etc., all these things will decide the highway characteristics. And last one is the environment condition. Whether the particular weather type, adjacent land use type, how all these things are deciding. This will decide the environmental conditions. So these are the road user characteristics. So the road user characteristics is behave or is affected by both external and internal factors. External and internal factors will decide the road user characteristics. So actually the internal factors can be classified as what are the physical factors as well as what are the psychological factors. Physical factors and psychological factors will decide the road user characteristics. And the external factors include the environmental factors. So this is the road user factors. It includes internal factors as well as the external factors. Internal factors can be broadly classified into physical factors and psychological factors, and external factors come under the environment factors come under the external factors. So physical factors, even this physical factors, here we have said that physical factors include physical and psychological factors are both included in internal factors. The physical factors include permanent as well as temporary factors. Permanent factors include vision. How is the vision of the driver? Okay, the ability of the driver to read the judgment or make a judgment on the distance requirement. We have discussed about the stopping side distance, overtaking side distance, etc. So from that itself, it is very much clear how much important is to have a proper vision. Next one is hearing. If the driver is not having a proper ear strength or hearing ability, how he will be responding to different situations when vehicles are blowing horns and all. So hearing, vision are two important permanent physical factors. Next one is strength. Then judgment power. In order to make a sudden judgment, when a vehicle is operating on the road, the situations will be unexpected. The driver will be coming across a large number of unexpected situations. So according to the situation, how the driver is able to make judgment and decide accordingly, that is very important. So that is another permanent internal or permanent physical factor. Another one is reaction power. Okay. The driver should be able to make judgments wisely. Logical conclusions need to be made by the driver. Next one is temporary factors. Temporary factors include fatigue, means the driver is too tired. So definitely his vision, strength, hearing ability, reaction power, judgment power, all these things will be a bit slowed down. Okay. So permanent factors mean they are permanent factors, but temporary means it depends on the present, depends on the situation only. The driver will not be experiencing fatigue all the time. In one particular instant of time, if the driver is experiencing fatigue, his permanent characteristics will be affected by the fatigue. After fatigue, I told that under the influence of alcohol or drugs, this may be changing the pattern of his thought process. how the driver is thinking, the thought process will be very much changed by the use of alcohol and drug. That is why we hear that in traffic regulations, the authorities always ensure that there is no drunken driving. Next one is illness and disability. If temporarily the driver is ill, if there is some disability due to temporary reason, that will affect the road characteristic. Anger, the emotional condition. If the driver is angry with someone and in that anger that person is driving the vehicle, all these things are not dependent only on driver, it is dependent on road users. Okay, it is a broader sense. You have to think in a broader sense. If you are a person walking on the road, for a pedestrian also these factors are very much similar to driver. Then climate, season, time, etc. These are the different temporary physical factors. Then the permanent physical factors include visual activities of road users, vision, human eye. Actually, human eye, the person should be able to sense the situation and the shape, size, color, distance, speed, etc. need to be evaluated. Okay, so this sense of vision and evaluation of certain attributes is very much important. So that is the visual activities of road users. So the various aspects of human vision which will affect the road users are visual activity. So visual activity means one is peripheral vision. For the eyes, how much is the total visual field available? That is the peripheral vision. Next one is eye movement, how the eye is moving. Then color vision. You might have heard about a situation known as color blindness. Color blindness is the situation when the particular person is not able to recognize the color properly. So this color blindness is causing a very high difficulty to a vehicle user or a road user, because when dealing with traffic movement, you have to have a sense of judging the color properly, especially in case of traffic signals. You have come across different situations where you are waiting in a traffic signal for the signal to open. Okay, so this traffic signal is operating on the color mechanism. If the signal light is green, then the signal is to move on, and the signal light is red, the signal is to stop. So if the particular person suffering from color blindness is not having a proper sense of color, if not having a proper ability to sense the color and make conclusions, that will affect the traffic stream, right? So color blindness is a very important problem. Next one is glare vision and recovery. How the particular driver or how the particular road user is able to adapt to the night vision. When you are traveling during night time, you might have observed that all the vehicles will be coming with their headlights on. So for some person who's having a problem for glare vision, due to the bright light coming into their eyes, there will be some fading of their eyesight. So that is very important factor. Next one is perception of time and space. How the particular person is able to make judgment of space and time. When the vehicle is moving, the person need to stop the vehicle. If he is applying brake at one particular point, at what distance and at what time the vehicle will come to stop, this judgment is important. The same is the case with a pedestrian also. A pedestrian want to cross the road. He want to make a judgment considering the speed at which vehicles are coming on the road and considering the speed at with which he can make the crossing movement. So perception of time and space is also a very much important factor. Then hearing. The sound of the horn or sound of the vehicle is very much important to make the pedestrian or driver alert. So hearing ability is very much important. Okay, these are the different physical factors. We have already discussed the different physical factors. Vision. Next one is hearing. Next one is strength. So lack of strength. Strength is important because if lack of strength is experienced by the road user, then for parking the vehicle, for turning the vehicle, for driving the vehicle comfortably, the road user will be experiencing certain difficulties. Next one is the reaction time. So to understand the traffic situation and to take appropriate action, what is the time required to perceive the traffic situation? The traffic situation need to be perceived. it need to be understood. What is the traffic situation that need to be understood, and appropriate action need to be taken. That time you call as the reaction time. Next one is judgment power. Depending on the experience and judgment power, there should be an ability to judge the coming situation. So before the actual response is coming, the right judgment need to be taken. So the power of the road user to judge the situation is highly important. So these were the different physical factors. What were the different physical factors? I'll just recall: vision, hearing, then strength, reaction time, as well as the judgment power. These were the different physical factors. Now let us move on to the psychological factors: motivation, intelligence, learning, emotion, individual difference, and there is one last thing that is known as the PIEV time. This PIEV time is very much important when we are discussing about the traffic engineering. Let us see these factors in detail. So motivation. What is the purpose for which the traffic stream? What is the purpose for which one particular person is entering the traffic stream? So there are different reasons why people are coming onto the road. It may be for business purpose, for social purpose, for recreation, marketing, or for going for job. So what is the purpose for which the person is entering onto the traffic stream? Actually, the purpose for which the person is entering into the traffic stream will highly determine how his mental makeup is at that particular time. If the person is going for a meeting, it is an official meeting, and the person is not interested in that particular meeting, but forcefully, as part of his job, the person is forced to go and attend that meeting. So his mental makeup will be different. Consider another situation when the person is when the person is entering onto the road, he is going with his family to a movie. Okay. So the recreation is the objective. So the mental makeup will be a more pleasant makeup. Okay. So depending on the situation, depending on what is the motivation for entering into the traffic stream, the mental composition of the persons will be varying. And this mental makeup will decide how is the psychological factor acting in that particular person. So that is important. Next one is intelligence. So actually, according to the external factors, if the person is able to adapt to the traffic situation, the person is able to adapt to the traffic situation, and he is able to adjust with the motives and intents, his intelligence level is very much important. Next one is learning. The learning process will be depending on the motivation, intelligence, and other motivating factors. The learning process will be dependent upon the motivation level, intelligence level, modifying factors, skills, habits, abilities of road users, etc. These are the different factors. Next one is emotion. Actually, emotion will motivate the road users. Emotions will be motivating the road users to randomly adjust their situation. What is the emotional state that will be creating, or that emotional state of the road user will be channelizing or will be influencing the decision making pattern of the particular road user. So emotion is important. Now the environment factors. The environment factors include traffic stream characteristics, facilities to the traffic, atmospheric conditions, locality, land use, and activities. So this one is very much important. I have told that there is one important theory known as the PIEV theory. So this PIEV theory, according to the PIEV theory, the reaction time of the driver is split into 4 parts. There are 4 parts for the reaction time of the driver. These 4 parts are the perception time. P stands for perception, I stands for intellection, E stands for emotion, and V stands for volition. Perception, intellection, emotion, and volition are the 4 things contributing to the PIEV theory. Let us see each and everything in detail. So here you can see that perception means there is one particular stimulus. Okay. Suppose a person is driving a vehicle. He is seeing an obstruction in front. So that is a stimulus. Some obstruction is present in front of the vehicle and I have to act accordingly. So brain will be perceiving the stimulus. Here you can see that this is the brain. The brain will be perceiving the stimulus. You call that situation as perception. Next one is intellection. Intellection means within the brain, this person will be analyzing the situation. How far can I travel in order to make sure that I'm not colliding? At what instant should I start applying the brake? So this analysis procedure, which is happening inside the brain, you call as the intellection. Next one is emotion. Emotionally, the person need to understand the situation. For example, if there is a individual crossing the road, if a person is crossing the road, a person who is sitting inside the vehicle and driving the vehicle, I have seen that the person is crossing the road. Next, emotion. I have to act emotionally. I have two options. Either I have to save that person and my vehicle. And second option is I will not stop the vehicle. I am just going to drive away. Okay. Whether I hit that person or not is immaterial. Okay. So that is the emotional part. You have to make a conclusion based on the emotional quotient of that particular person. So that is E. And V means action. Volition means what is the action. So I have observed the perception was a person is coming. Intellection means I have to apply the brake immediately. Otherwise I will hit the person or I have to drive over the person. Emotion means I have decided that I will not hit over the person. I will stop the vehicle. And volition means I am applying the brake. So that is the response to that particular situation. So if there is a stimuli and there need to be a response to the particular stimuli, all these four things should be considered: perception, intellection, emotion, and volition. So perception time means the time required for the sensation received by eye or ear. Time required for the sensation received by eye or ear to be transmitted to the brain through the nervous system and spinal cord. Next one is I means intellection time. What is the time required for understanding the situation? The time required for comparing the different thoughts, regrouping and registering new sensation. You call it as the intellection time. Emotional time means during emotional sensations and disturbances such as fear, anger, etc. What is the time elapsed? That is the emotional time. And next one is volition time. Volition time means time taken for the final action. What is the time taken for final action? You call it as the volition time. So this PIEV time, it is particular for one particular driver. What is the factors which decide the PIEV time of a driver? Physical and psychological factors of the driver is important. Type of the problem involved, environmental conditions, and there are also some temporary factors. So broadly speaking, the total reaction time, PIEV time of an average driver will be varying from 0.5 second to 3 to 4 seconds for a more complex problem. So this is the reaction time for various stimuli. So that's it. We'll stop. So we have seen the different road characteristics. It includes the road user characteristics, highway characteristics, environmental characteristics, and the vehicular characteristics. Okay.